What is up? And today we're going to talk about Dyson Daniels. But before we get started, I just want to tell you guys to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share this with your friends and family, and to continue to support my channel. That's right. Dyson Daniels is going to get some love on this episode today because my Atlanta Hawks shocked the world and defeated those Boston Celtics 117-116, shocking the world, beating the world champions. As my Hawks were 16.5 underdogs in this game, and they pulled it out. Shot the world without Trae Young, my boy Ice Trae, the game. Without Bogey, without DeAndre Hunter, without V. Krejci. And they got the job done. They with all the stacks against us, the odds against us. And we pulled it out against those world champions Celtics in their house, in their building. And look, things haven't been going too well for my Atlanta Hawks this season, in part because of injuries. I mean, my team, the Atlanta Hawks, they've been decked up, injured, banged up throughout the course of the season. Unfortunately, they've been without Bogey. They've been without DeAndre Hunter, without V. Krejci, even at times without Dyson Daniels for a couple of games. And last night they didn't have Trae Young. And so my team they've been injured. They've been, banged up. They've been without guys at different points of the year and still without guys. And, right now they're 5-7. But I have some confidence that when we get our guys back, that we're gonna string some wins together. We're gonna get on a little bit of a run here, and we're gonna play like the team that I anticipated that they would play. But I gotta look, if there's a bright spot for this Atlanta Hawks season up to this point, I have to start with Dyson Daniels. Like I said, Dyson Daniels this season, through these first 12 games, he has been unbelievable, phenomenal. I can't say enough about what this young man has done to start off this season for the Hawks. And look, I'll be the first to say, I was a fan of Dyson Daniels from the start. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Twitter or X or whatever they call that network or social media account nowadays, X or Twitter or whatever. But I said last season that the Atlanta Hawks trading DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniels and 2 first-round picks would be a good trade for the Atlanta Hawks. And that was before they actually did that exact deal. And so I predicted this outcome for Dyson Daniels and him fitting in. But even for me, watching Dyson Daniels up close every single game that I watch him play for the Hawks, he's even exceeded my expectations. Dyson Daniels is he's phenomenal. He is truly phenomenal. And yes, last night against the Boston Celtics, he just took it up another level. I mean, this is a guy that had finished the game with 28 points on 12 of 21 shooting, all career highs. And this is a guy who had 7 assists and 6 steals. It's unreal what this man is doing. Currently, right now, Dyson Daniels leads the NBA in steals per game with 3.6. The NBA record for steals per game is 3.7 by an individual by the name of Alvin Robinson. And he did that in 1986. We're talking about 28 years ago. I think no. 38 years ago, actually, not 28. 38. I, if my math is correct, 38 years ago. It's just 38 years. This is crazy. So Dyson Daniels, he leads the NBA in steals per game with 3.6, and that's a record. That's a second highest steals per game rate up to this point in NBA history. The record was 3.7 by, again, I mentioned Alvin Robinson. This is a guy in Dyson Daniels who leads the NBA in deflections with steals, blocks, tilt passes. He's at 74 by a mile. 74. The second highest is Alex Caruso and Nikola Jokic at 44. So this is a guy who's just killing the NBA with just deflections and steals. He's ridiculous defensively. He's unreal with what he's doing defensively this season. Like, at this point in time, I think Dyson Daniels, especially considering that my man Chet Holmgren's out for the season, he's out for a couple of months in all likelihood. And look, I wish my thoughts and prayers goes out to Chet Holmgren. I hope he has a speedy recovery with his hip that he injured a few days back against the Warriors. But as of this moment, I don't think there's a better defensive player in the league right now than Dyson Daniels. He's unreal. He's unbelievable. And he has provided the Atlanta Hawks exactly what they've been missing defensively next to Trae Young, which is a long 6'7" wing with long arms and length and size. And this is a guy that can guard on the ball. He can guard off the ball. The way that he can just pickpocket opposing ball handlers, just stealing the ball from behind, playing in passing lanes, disrupting dribble handoffs, and just stealing the ball, from a ball handler if they're lazy with the ball. Like, if you're lazy against Dyson Daniels and he's up in you, he's going to steal the ball away from you. And this is a guy that's a really good on-ball defender at that. Like, this is a guy that can guard at the point of attack. He can guard opposing ball handlers. Last night against Jason Tatum was 5 for 19 shooting. 5 for 19 shooting. And Jason Tatum's had a really good year, maybe even an MVP caliber year up to that point. And last night, he struggled shooting the ball. And I believe a big part of that was because Dyson Daniels was up in him guarding him. And so Dyson Daniels, like, I can't say enough about what this young man is doing so far this season. He's unbelievable. And defensively, again, he is exactly what the Hawks were missing with Trae Young. This is exactly what the Hawks thought that they were getting with DeJounte Murray. Just an all-NBA caliber defender. And unfortunately, that didn't work out. And Atlanta traded DeJounte Murray. And they got a guy in Dyson Daniels who's providing exactly what the Hawks have needed. And this is so huge for the Hawks long term. I mean, when you look at what they have now, and you look at Dyson Daniels, and you look at a player like Jalen Johnson, who's 6'9", 6'8", long, athletic, can also play some defense. You have Zachary Richache, who, he's been struggling shooting the ball a little bit, but I think he'll be okay. But defensively, he's been very good. He's 6'9", 6'10", long arms, can move, can get in passing lanes. So you add all of those guys together, and all of them with Dyson Daniels being 21, and Zachary Richache being 19, and Jalen Johnson currently is 22, who's going to be 23 in a month in December. You got young, athletic wings next to a player like Trae Young, who we all know, considering Trae Young's defensive limitations, you gotta have size at the wing and forward spots, and Atlanta has that. and you can kind of see what the vision for this team is going to be in the future, especially if you can get all these guys, maturing and growing and playing more games together. And, look, I think Atlanta is going to eventually add some pieces in the future, whether they draft somebody or trade somebody. So you have an opportunity to add more guys like, Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson and Reese Shea, guys who are 6'7" and above with size and versatility and length and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, that win is just was just phenomenal. And Dyson, it was all because of Dyson Daniels to me. Dyson Daniels was amazing. Look, I'm just talking about his defense. Offensively, Dyson Daniels, he has a lot in the bag. When you talking about his offensive game, like, this is a guy that when the Hawks traded for him, like, I didn't know too much about his offense. Like, I knew some of the rumblings about how he was passive. He wasn't always aggressive. Sometimes he would pass up shots and all this other stuff. This season, that has not been the case. He's aggressive. He has a nice off the bounce game. He can attack off the dribble. And if you look at that game against Boston, like, he was attacking Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday. Like, this is a young man that was not afraid of going at them. And even late in the game, like, when Quinn Snyder called the play for him late in the game, and he attacked Drew Holiday. He had a spin move on him, and he attempted a floater, and look, he ended up missing the floater. But thankfully, Onyeka Okongwu was there to get the offensive rebound and tip the ball in to get the Hawks that lead in that game. And eventually the Hawks ended up winning as they got a stop. And so this is a guy in Dyson Daniels who offensively, like, like I said, he has a lot more in the bag. He can score off the dribble. He has a nice floater. He can get to the basket and drive, an attack off the bounce. And look, his jump shot is a little questionable. I mean, you look at his 3-point, field goal percentage up to this point. I think he's shooting around 27% from three, which ain't great. But the one thing I do appreciate with Dyson Daniels is he's not afraid to let it fly. Like, that's the one thing I like about him. He does not let a missed shot affect him. He doesn't allow him missing shots affect his confidence. He's going to keep shooting the ball. And he is shooting the ball with confidence. He's attacking off the bounce. He's done a nice job playing off Trey. He's a nice secondary passer. He has good court vision for his size. And so this is a guy that's not just a defender. Like, this is a guy offensively, he's making himself a threat out there on the floor. And that's great to see when you talk about Dyson Daniels. And like I said, this kid is only 21 years old. He is so young. And look, the returns that the Hawks got on him it's just promising. It's just as a Hawk fan, it's hard not to be excited about what we're seeing with this kid, with Dyson Daniels. He's phenomenal. I think his ceiling is pretty high for a basketball player. It's a guy that offensively he can grow, and defensively he's just, like I said, he's a guy that you can put on anybody, at least from the point guard to small forward position, and he can hold his own. Like, you can trust him to guard the best players in the league. You can trust him to guard Jason Tatum. You can trust him to guard a Jalen Brunson like he did last week against the New York Knicks and end up, shutting him down a little bit. You can put him on Anthony Edwards. You can put him on Luka Doncic. You can put him on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You can put him on, Donovan Mitchell. You can put him on all of these top scoring wing forward guard types in the league, and he can get the job done. There's just no question about it. And I think about it like this. When the Atlanta Hawks traded for Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance, because I can't forget about Larry Nance. He's also been good as well as a rotational big. But think about it like this. The Atlanta Hawks, it had the Atlanta Hawks, the Hawks trading DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniels, straight up. Especially this version of Dyson Daniels. The Atlanta Hawks trading DeJounte Murray for this version of Dyson Daniels would have been a great trade. Just straight up. Because Dyson Daniels is just the more valuable player. No disrespect to DeJounte Murray. But teams are looking for this guy, this type of player. A player that can guard on the perimeter, that's versatile, that's tall, long, has size, but also can do a little bit offensively as well. That's what Dyson Daniels has become. And the Hawks traded DeJounte Murray straight up. The Atlanta Hawks trading DeJounte Murray straight up for a guy like that would have been a good trade. The Atlanta Hawks traded DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance, and 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks, an unprotected pick from the Lakers this year that they own, which is very valuable, and they also have the 2027 pick, which is worse between whichever is worse between the Pelicans or the Bucks. And so you're talking about 2 first-round picks that have a real potential to be lottery picks. You got that plus a player like Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance, who's been very good. And by the way, Larry Nance, it feels like every 3 he shoots, it goes in. Like, he can't miss a 3. He can't miss at all. He's been very good. And so you add all that together, considering that the Atlanta Hawks got Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance, and 2 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. I mean, that trade is looking like a fleece for the Atlanta Hawks. It's a great deal. Great trade that the Hawks just made. And as an Atlanta Hawk fan, I'm just smiling. I'm smiling from year to year. Look, I know the record ain't too good right now. We're 5-7, but I'm telling people, I think when this team gets healthy and they get Bogdan Bogdanovic back and they get DeAndre Hunter back and Trae Young comes back from his whatever he's dealing with and Vit Krejci, I think this Hawk team is gonna be pretty good and they're gonna surprise some people. And I think this team can be a pretty good team, man. I really do. I think this team can make a little noise in the Eastern Conference, especially when you look at the Eastern Conference right now. The Eastern Conference ain't very good. I mean, there's only 2 teams in the Eastern Conference that will win the record. It's the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Atlanta Hawks just beat the Boston Celtics. And so that's going to give them some confidence moving forward. And so, like I said, I like where the Atlanta Hawks stand. And most importantly, I am so glad that Dyson Daniels is on my basketball team because, woo, what a player. Caw-caw!